The rain had started falling softly outside when Olivia stepped out of her office building in downtown Portland. The clouds rolled in like they had something to confess, something heavy. She clutched her coat tightly and walked briskly toward her car, pretending not to hear the voice calling out behind her. Olivia, wait up. It was Marcus, tall, dark-haired, and always perfectly put together in his suit and subtle cologne. He was her colleague, but more than that, he had become something dangerous. Temptation. She paused without turning. Her marriage to Daniel had been in a strange place for months, too quiet, too distant, too polite. They had been together for 8 years, and now it felt like they were living parallel lives. He was home early, always made dinner, and asked about her day, but it was robotic, like he was checking a box. And she too was playing a role, smiling in all the right places, laughing at stories she no longer found amusing. Marcus reached her, his breath slightly visible in the chill. "You forgot your tablet," he said, holding it out with a smile. His fingers brushed hers as she took it, and something in her chest tightened. "Thanks," she said quietly. She didn't meet his eyes, not yet. "Listen," he began, and she knew what was coming. He had tried to talk to her the week before too, when they worked late on the Henderson account. Something had shifted between them that night. The way he had looked at her, listened to her, complimented the way she handled the client. It was so unlike Daniel, who barely noticed anymore. "Marcus, don't," she whispered, stepping back. But she didn't leave. He took a chance. "I can't pretend I don't feel something when I'm around you. And I think you do too." Her heart beat so hard she could hear it. 1,000 thoughts flooded her mind, about loyalty, about Daniel, about right and wrong. But in that moment, what overpowered everything was the way she felt. Seen. Desired. Alive. She didn't answer him then. She just walked away. But she didn't sleep that night. The next morning, she met Marcus at a quiet coffee shop before work. They didn't speak much. They just sat, sipping coffee, the silence heavy with unspoken emotions. When he finally touched her hand across the table, she didn't pull away. Their first time wasn't what she imagined. It wasn't thrilling or magical. It was painful. Not physically, but emotionally. Olivia sat in the silence of Marcus's apartment afterward, curled up in the sheets, unable to meet his eyes. The guilt hit her like a wave crashing on a fragile shore. She had crossed the line. She had betrayed Daniel. She had betrayed herself. "I shouldn't have come," she said, voice trembling. Marcus sat beside her, expression full of regret and longing. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean for it to hurt." She turned to him, eyes glassy. "It wasn't you. It was me. I wasn't ready. I thought I was, but..." He nodded, gave her space, and didn't touch her again that night. Days passed. She avoided Marcus at work, kept to herself, and tried to act normal at home. Daniel didn't notice the change. Or maybe he did and didn't care. Either way, she was crumbling inside. She wanted to forget what she'd done. But more than that, she wanted to feel something real again. And Marcus, for better or worse, had made her feel something she hadn't in years. 1 week later, she called him. "Can we talk?" They met at the same coffee shop. No smiles this time. Just honesty. "I'm sorry for everything," she told him. "I was confused. Scared. I still am." He didn't interrupt. "But I haven't stopped thinking about it. About you." He reached for her hand again. "Olivia. It was painful for me too. I don't want to hurt you. But I want to be with you. However you'll let me." Tears welled in her eyes. "Can we try again?" That night, they didn't rush. They took their time. Marcus was gentle, respectful, and patient. He asked her what she needed. He listened. And Olivia, for the first time in years, felt heard. Not just by words, but by touch, by presence, by care. Afterward, she lay beside him, staring at the ceiling. "This doesn't fix anything," she said. "I know," he replied. "But maybe it helps you see what you deserve." That line haunted her for weeks. Back at home, Daniel had started noticing her absence. She stayed out late more often, made excuses. He would look at her with a slight frown, as if trying to remember the woman he married. One night, while eating dinner, he said quietly, "Are we okay?" She dropped her fork. "Why wouldn't we be?" "I don't know," he said, looking down. You just seem gone. She could have lied. Could have smoothed it over. But the truth had begun to rot inside her like something unspoken for too long. I think I am, she whispered. Daniel didn't respond. His hands trembled slightly. They both knew that something had ended long before Marcus ever came into the picture. Over the next few weeks, Olivia stopped seeing Marcus. She didn't run back to him or cling to the fantasy. She didn't want to use him as an escape. She took time to figure herself out. What she wanted, what she needed, who she was without the titles of wife or lover. When she finally reached out to Marcus again, it wasn't out of desperation. It was from a place of clarity. I'm not asking for promises, she said. Just honesty. Just something real. He took her hand again, just like he had the first time. But this time there was no guilt. No shame. Just two people finding each other in a world full of false connections. Daniel and Olivia separated quietly. No screaming matches, no drawn-out battles. Just a mutual understanding that what they had once shared had faded. She still respected him. He still cared for her. But they had grown apart. And that was okay. Months later, Olivia stood on a pier with Marcus beside her, watching the sun set over the water. He kissed her forehead softly and wrapped an arm around her. You ever regret it? He asked. She thought for a moment, then shook her head. It was painful at first, she said softly. But I'm glad I asked you to try again. And in that moment, with the ocean breeze dancing through her hair, Olivia finally understood what it meant to choose herself. Not out of selfishness, but out of truth.